Hey everybody, welcome to another A+ entry backtesting video. In today's video, we're going to be testing this on NQ using the 1 minute time frame. Now the A+ checklist is here on the screen now. For the directional bias, we're going to be using the previous 4-hour candles lows and highs. If we sweep the high, we're going to look to sell. If we sweep the low, we're going to look to buy. So it's reversal trading. Now, we also mark out the closest bearish and bullish period arrays, which are fair value gaps and inversions, whichever one is closest. Now, in addition to reversal trading, we do also trade continuations, which is very relevant to how the market's moving in 2025. You'll be seeing a lot of momentum moving towards the downsides. I'm going to show you guys how I capitalize on these movements as well. Okay, so bonus in our directional bias is if we have SMT, which is a inverse correlation with ES. Normally NQ and ES should be correlated. So when they're not, we can find SMT to guide us or at least add to our confluence of why we want to be bearish or bullish. Now, we also mark out the opening prices of the 8:30 candle and the midnight opening price. If we are above both these opening prices, we are looking to be bearish as we are expensive on the day. If we are beneath both, we are cheap on the day and we're looking to be bullish, buying price at a discount. Now, times, this is quite important. We only trade within the macro windows only. I trade 4 main macros. One is pre-market open, the 2 a.m. and 1 p.m. But we're going to go into this, so any questions, you'll actually have them answered. Entries, breaker blocks, volume imbalances, AMD plus BPR, fair value gaps and inversion fair value gaps, targets, swing highs, equal highs, data highs, volume imbalances, and fair value gaps. So the exit strategy. When trading reversals, we go for a 1 to 2, and then the closest swing or the closest target, plus partials. When we go in with continuations, we go for a 1 to 1.5. It's with no partials and targeting one of these on the list. The 2 losses, we're done for the day. 1 win, we're done for the day. And 2 small wins, we are also done for the day. So let's get into it. Actually, an additional rule, when we go to a 0.9R in profit, we make it break even. So here is the wheels of names. This is going to take us back to a random year to make sure that I don't pre-plan these videos so we can see how do I perform. Okay, so we're going back to 2020, the year of COVIDs. I know, yeah, the year of COVIDs. Very nice. So now we're going to pick the month that we're going to go in trades. So 1 to 12, that's how many months we have in the year. Let's shuffle. Last time we got 70% accuracy, the time before 80, the time before 90. Let's see if we can beat this. Okay, so February. I'm going to be too volatile. So now you're going to come over here to FX Replay. I'll leave a link down below. This is what I use to test all my systems. It's incredible. I do highly recommend for 1 minute trading. You got a lot of data. So I'll leave the link down below. It gives you 15% off. So let's create a session. The session is going to be called YouTube Backtest. The assets, we need NQ. We also need ES. MES, we use micro. So initial date. First, let's go and change the year to 2020. Then the month to February. We'll start from the beginning. I feel like that's fair. We'll also go back here. Doesn't really matter where the end point is. We're just going to be testing from this starting point. We're going to try and find 10 examples here. So this is invalid. It's in 2025. There we go. Great session. You see I've tested over 13 hours, which is actually not correct. This is on the new version. I've also done extra hours on the old version. So let's see. Okay. So go to the top left. We want to make sure we've selected NQ. This is what we enter. Okay, that's the wrong one. I want NQ to be on my left. I want ES to be on my right. Okay. So let's fast forward to the next day here. Okay, so starting off, On the 4-hour time frame, we see that price, let me just check the 1 minute's loaded correctly. No, thought so. Go to the next day again. There we go. So now let's go and start off with the bias. What's the 4-hour showing us in terms of context? We do see that price has not swept the high, and it also has not swept the low. So they're both intact. They don't really give us a lot of direction now. So the next step is to mark out the bearish and bullish PDO rates. So the closest one here that I see instantly is this bearish fair value gap. And in terms of being bullish, the closest one is potentially, this is a bit distorted. This is a volume imbalance closing lower. So we're not going to use this inversion. We're going to say the closest bullish PDO rate is going to be here. So we've got a lot of room towards the downside to look for selling positions. Currently, we favor being bearish. So bullish, let's change this to reds because we're in a bearish fair value gap. So we're now going to be looking for sells in terms of reversals, but understanding we can trade continuations. The next step, let's mark out the opening prices of 8:30, 30. We're also going to do the same for midnight. Okay. Get rid of that. Okay, what is midnight? So this is the opening price of the midnight opening candle. So we do see it has been used as support and resistance. This is good. This is good signs that the market is moving correctly. We want to see these be rejected throughout the day. So let's fast forwards. We have no red folder news to trade pre-market open. Now we see that it's the New York Stock Exchange open. So fast forwarding looks pretty aggressive to the upside. I'm seeing bullish order flow with disrespecting bearish gaps, respecting bullish gaps. So currently we favor looking to sell. So I'm going to want to find SMT to guide that decision on actually taking a sell. Respecting more gaps, we left equal lows here. We've got 10 a.m. news. Okay. See if we get a pullback. Okay, we've started to pull back. Do we want to take this? We see we've got a volume imbalance inside a fair value gap. The move higher seems a little bit too aggressive. I'm going to pass on this one. Okay, so it did come back. Let's see how volatile it is. Why is that volatile? Do I want to keep pushing higher? It's not providing anything yet. 10 a.m. candle has closed. Now we've reswept the high. Still not providing anything here, so we're probably going to have to go to the next macro. Okay, let's go to the next macro. Potentially, the only setup here was this. It just didn't really have enough of a deep retracement for me. Potentially, we should have took it, but let's find another setup. Okay, so on the 4-hour, we are still inside bearish Peter rays. We've got an inversion here. Okay. Well, not an inversion, but a normal gap. 4-hour high is here. Okay. Looks a little bit too choppy. PA does favor being bearish. We want to find some SMT or bearish order flow, which we do have. I can't take a position. It's red folder news. We're going to try this from here. When you got red folder news and trading your reversals, you want to make sure that you enter with the FEG overlapping structure. So we've got a mitigation here. We'll secure 50 at a 1-to-1. So 0.9 we're now risk free. Okay, so that's a break even. The first trade's break even. We're going to find 10 trades, break evens or not, and then we'll see the actual risk to rewards. Okay, so even the first target did eventually get hit, and price is rebalancing back higher. We're starting to halt from this area, starting to inverse bearish gaps and respect bullish gaps, but a little bit too choppy. So let's come to the PM. See if the PM session's got anything better. This is only valid, the PM, if the AM is not moving the way you would like it to. So let's zoom out. Looks relatively choppy, which I'm a little bit more lenient for on the PM, just because it's not the most volatile. I don't think, yeah, we can't even break this range. Let's go back, well, let's go 2 forwards till tomorrow. We took 1 trade, 1 break even. Let's try and find 9 more. Starting off, what's the 4-hour showing us? We have swept the high. The low is still intact, so we favor being bearish. In terms of PD arrays, we have a bullish one here that we've inversed. An inverse fair value gap. We can use this as support. Also have a bearish one here. So when we see that they overlap, you're going to go with the most recent sweep of the high or the low. Let's color this in blue. And let's see. So dropping back down to the 1 minute now. 8:30 opening price is here. Okay. Where is the midnights? So midnight's quite a long way away, meaning we're potentially going to be continuing today. And it has been respected throughout the day. It's good. So there's no red folder news. Let's go to the next macro. This is the open, sort of a Judas swing, pushing price lower. And I want to see price really break out of this range, just like that. Okay. So we swept the high inside a gap. Macro will be open. Okay. Let's see. So we keep distributing higher. Nothing I can engage with here. Let's watch out for SMT. So we left equal highs on ES. NQ is starting to displace lower. I'm not convinced just yet. The 10 o'clock has just closed. Let's just reassess, make sure we're drawing everything correctly. We got a bullish PD array here now. Okay. The high just moves to the current high, and the low tracks up to the most recent 4-hour low. Okay. The bearishness, I think we're about to hit all-time highs here, which is the main target around 9,000s. Let's jump back down to the 1 minute. We're a little bit too choppy for my liking, so let's see. We've swept the high. Very nice reaction from this. Very nice. Okay, still nothing I want to engage with here. If we had some SMT, I would be very interested. Let's pass. Next macro, second AM macro, 10:45 to 11:15. Price, even some equal lows. Inversing, we'd swept the high, but no SMT again. First 1, 2, so bearish order flow now. Can we respect? Okay, we do. So if we displace through this short-term low here, we just swept equal highs inside a gap. I'd be more convinced in selling. Okay. See how this displacement rejected a low? Yes, we also overlap with this mitigation. We swept the highs and potentially maybe even a breaker here. And it's just not something I'm very convinced with. Yeah. And that is why. So we're just starting to consolidate here. Bear in mind, it is February in 2020. So let's see what the PM has got for us. So we're miles above 8:30, miles above midnight. So we're very, very expensive on the day. But when you're light years away, I like to say continuation models make sense. So price, where's it halted from? Look to the left, bounced from this gap. We've ever since started to displace through bearish gaps, multiple bearish gaps. There's good signs of bullish order flow. Okay. I'm going to place a entry here. Stop loss, I can never go 5 points is huge, but we're in. So we'll go for a 7.5 return. Price has left the volume imbalance, equal lows. I anticipate getting swept, so I made the stop relatively big. Okay. Getting some volume now. We're going to have to be break even. We've hit a 0.9, so hopefully we can survive. Okay, we're pushing. We go. 1.5 is the final TP. I've got nothing else to target here. Okay. Great trades. Considering the lack of volume, I'm very happy with that position. So second trades, we can come back to tomorrow. So 8 more positions we need to find here. We're going to take our time. I think last time I rushed it a little bit too much. I want to take my time with this. If the video needs to be 2 hours, it will be. The ones who actually want to learn and digest the value that we're given in these breakdowns, then they deserve to watch. So London's moved not relatively, it has moved aggressively towards the upside. When this happens, don't expect the best movements within AM. So the midnight is here. It's been respected throughout the day. Good signs. Okay, jumping back. There's nothing here for us. We don't have red folder. We can fast forward to the session here. Okay. So going back to the 4 hour, what context do we have? So we swept the high. So we are bearish. The high's been swept. Another thing to consider is prices at all-time highs. All-time highs just does have a lot more bullish order flow. It's a lot more bullish momentum. So you do need to be cautious when trading your reversals, adapt, be able to trade continuations as well. So the high is there, the low is still intact. In terms of bearish and bullish Peter arrays, we don't even have a bearish one. We have a bullish one though. Also, this low here is an A plus fair value gap. We've got a low inside a gap, making this an A plus area to target. So let's jump back down to the 1 minute. Huge sell-off. Multiple gaps are being left open. Good signs of bearish order flow. We are dropping from where though? That's what you always want to see. So looking to the left, there's no gap just yet. So you're gonna have to let this breathe. We are not engaging with this. Red folder news day, you want to make sure the gap you pick overlaps some structure, mitigation, order block, whatever you want to decipher that as, just to avoid a lot of losses. Inverse 1, 2. Nothing here just yet. We could displace, that would be nice. 10 o'clock's just closed. Okay, so higher all-time highs. A low at, sorry, a low here. So the actual gap can be tracked higher. We've got a new gap here. Okay. So I wanted this to push down a little bit further as well. Do we have anything substantial? We do have S&T. Okay, if it can pull back, it looks a little bit too choppy. We'll try it. Big stops. Okay, so we hit the objective before we could pull back here. Potentially should have took it off this that overlaps. But this was higher probability to me. We see we have a high highs, high lows, high high, lower low. This is now a breaker that overlaps as a unicorn model with SMT. Pretty high probability. But as soon as we took the low, I'm now not interested. So we're going to come back to the next session. You can see that that bias was correct though. We would hunt in that low before distributing back lower. Okay. Let's see what we can find here. 1045. Okay, so overall, we're inside a bullish fair value gap. We've swept the 4-hour low. This should only be looking for reversals, but we need to make sure we got SMT, really. Okay, so continuation models will be looking to sell. Breaking higher. There's no SMT. No, nothing that we can take here just yet. So all I was waiting for is the market to respect bullish gaps and disrespect bearish gaps. But on the first one, if you don't have SMT, you're going to need to make sure you take the second gap here. So we're going to come to PM session. $13.45. Let's just zoom out again on the 4-hour. Really trading deep into this bullish gap. We swept the low. Looks like we're consolidating. Okay. So nothing here. We'll go to the next day. Okay. It looks like we're inside this bullish gap. We've also swept the low. High is still intact. So we are bullish. So we're going to actually take a buy position. We're going to need bullish order flow or a bullish SMT. Okay, we're respecting one gap here. Okay. I'm going to take this position. 10 points. So this was a fair value gap with overlapping this mitigation here. Made sense to keep continuing higher. The first one had been respected, so I take the second position here because there's no SMT. There's SMT or a unicorn, we can take it on the first reversal back higher. So secured 50% of that first position, a 1 to 2, and then the closest equal highs here, so 2.13. We secured half, and then we've been tapped to break even. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, so 3 positions are up 2% now. Let's go to the next macro. Consolidating. Let's go back to the 4-hour. Low is intact. Okay, let's try and find the 8:30 at midnight opening price. So we are beneath both the 8:30 and the midnight opening price, which is bullish. 4-hour is currently inside a gap, so we are in line with our directional bias. A little bit too choppy for now. We see we've touched twice at the top. We look at the bottom, we've also touched twice here, so we need this range to break without rejecting other PA, which we still are. We're now rejecting this high. It needs to break cleanly, whereas we're not trading. Okay, so sometimes we pass on some wins here, but I cannot engage. I can't break my rules. Sometimes you will miss trades, but they're lower probability anyway. So you're not trying to catch every move. You can tailor this system to fit your own criteria, but I can't break my rules here. Okay, so we swept the 4-hour high. Inverting bearish gaps. We're going to need some SMT to make us want to sell here. Just too choppy. Let's come back tomorrow. So we need to find 7 more positions. We can do that. Okay, so 8:30 red folder news means the pre-market macros are valid. Let's fast forward to it. Okay. So we're in the pre-market open macro. Let's just delete this. It's a little bit too messy. I want to have a clear bias. We've swept data low. Data high is still a valid target here. So we do favor being bullish without looking at anything else, just because of how strong data lows and highs are. They're a very strong draw on liquidity. So a low here, which is the midnight opening price. We haven't really respected it throughout the day. I guess a couple times, and we consolidate at the area. Okay. So we're beneath both these levels, meaning we are cheap on the day. Continuations would be still looking to sell. We've also swept the 4-hour low. 4-hour high is intact. Looks like equal highs, or relatively equal highs. Okay. Inside a bullish value gap. Okay, so I don't mind selling. I prefer to buy. Do you have any SMT? Not really. Now we're just consolidating. We want to see this break. So this is not valid, which is good because we should have better movements within our macro. Okay. 9:45. We're consolidating again. I've got to wait for this to break. Okay, we're breaking out to the upside. Do we have SMT? Yes, we've got bullish SMT. So when this inverses, we can look to buy this position higher. That is not what I'm going to be buying. If it looks like this, I'm not interested. That is exactly why. It's a very weak breakout. We don't even break above the wicks. Yes, we suit the equal highs. There's not a strong displacement for an inversion, so we're going to wait. Price is still wanting to consolidate here. I think our entry is going to be in the 2nd AM. Yeah, a lot cleaner. We are truly starting to break out now. Going back to the 4-hour. Low has not been swept. We inversed this bullish gap, which turns to a bearish Peter ray. High is now moved slightly down. We've got reasons to buy and sell right now. So continuations would be bullish. Clean inversion. AMD, bearish AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Don't trust it yet. You have SMT. We also got data highs above. Okay. Or SMT. Do we want to sell this? We have SMT. Yeah, we're going to take this sell. Off this, it overlaps the breaker. 10 points seems a little high, but yeah, we'll take it. So it's one loss. It's a pretty good loss, to be fair. We've got SMT, plus we made higher highs, higher lows. We then displace, making lower lows before coming back, having a fair value gap that overlaps the breaker. High probability trades. That's the 4th position. -1. So it's this data high is a very strong draw still. Let's go to the PM. Maybe we can take the high out. Oh no, we've done it. We've took the high before we could get an opportunity to ride that. Okay, so we're beneath both. Swept the high. Okay, order flow looks bearish, delivering from gaps. Very low volume here. Here we go. That's what we want to see. So we haven't respected one in this leg, but we respected one now. So the next one we can take. It's played far too fast, so we're going to skip to the next day here. Okay, so the next macro, as there's no red folder news. So we inverse the inverse, so that's deleted. Closest bullish gap is here. terms of bearishness, we have the previous 4 hours highs, so let's mark that. Midnight opening price is here. We're just about sweeping high. Continuations would be bullish then. So if we want to look for a reversal, we need to see price either have SMT or order flow changes to being bearish. So we've got a breaker. There's no SMT for me to take this. Okay. I'm going to try this from here. Make sure that is correct. Now, we'll wait for the next one. So that order flow wants to keep being bullish. Now we've got bearish order flow. If we displace, leave a gap. I'm going to say this. So the reason we took this is because we've got a fair value gap, an overlap structure. We see bearish order flow has started to kick in. We respect this gap. We then return back, sweep the high in the gap and displace lower. A pretty valid opportunity here, risk-free at this 0.9. Okay, so we secured a 0.5. Final TP 2.1. So we hit our break even and then drop to that final TP, but we still secure 0.5. So 5 positions now. We're at 1.5%. We can go to the next macro. Okay, let's fast forward. It looks a little bit choppy. Zoom out again. So the 4 hour, the high has been swept. We're also just taking all-time highs here. So there's going to be some form of bullish order flow. So we're going to monitor that also. Currently, it looks too choppy for me to engage. Start kicking in, then we can look to take positions. But no, I didn't think so. We've got red folder news. That looks like news. It's not shown is. It's fine. The 9:30, let's fast forward to our sessions at 9:45. Okay, we're really at all-time highs again. A little difficult to approach all-time highs for reversals. We swept the high. Midnights, they're old. The low can be dragged to here. So we swept the low inside a bullish gap. This is bullish, or at least it's favored being bullish. Order flow currently doesn't provide anything. Have a look. Where's the 8:30? 8:30 is here. Midnight is... Yeah. Midnight, 8:30. Sorry. So dropping back down, what do we want to see now? Because we are bullish, we're going to want to see displacement through these short-term highs, leaving a fair value gap, or this breaker being or leaving a fair value gap overlapping, becoming a uni. If not, then we need to see SMT to guide our decision. 10 o'clock, strong displacement here. Let's just analyze the 4-hour again. Volume imbalance pushing higher. Okay, so we're not going to take the first one. We can take the seconds. Swipe the high here. But we're going to try this. So we're in. We've secured 0.5. This is somewhat continuation of this volume imbalance here that also overlaps with this order block. See if we can get the final push. Yeah, we do. So that final push does kick in. We see that price did want to come back down, tag us out again before then pushing higher, unfortunately. So we secure another 0.5. On days there is news. 8:30 news. Yeah, we haven't added that in for this backtesting session, but I have started not making it risk-free on news days because it likes to tap my break even and then hit my final TP. But we didn't decide that rule, should I say, before we started doing this. So I'm not going to cheat. That's 6 positions. Now it looks like we want to continue. We're at all-time highs. We've swept the high, so we also are interested in selling. Kind of being neutral. If price wants to give me SMT, I'd look to sell. If not, I'm going to keep trying to ride this out. Okay. We displace. We now got bearish order flow. It gets instantly inversed. So it looks like we're going to keep consolidating. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go to the PM. It's unfortunate. We've had 2 pretty bad break-evens here. Okay, let me zoom out. What's the 4-hour looking like? So we've swept the all-time high again. We've rejected a bullish gap. We left that bottom wick. Yeah, so we favor being bearish. Continuations would be bullish. Nice displacement. Strong volume imbalances. It's going to have to give me a little something more than that, though. It needs to overlap with structure for us to sell. Okay. I'm going to try this position. Oh, we've got 1 minute towards the macro. Okay. That was a very strong move. So we got entered after the macro. So this is now not invalid. This is invalid. Sorry, you cannot trade 1 minute later than the macro. So let's go. Actually, we'll see if it plays out. So the bias was correct, but we would have got stopped down. Let's go to the next day. Okay. So we need to find 4 more positions here. Next macro. Okay, 9:30 news. What is this? Biden speaking. Fed Chair Powell testifies. 9:30 makes 0 sense to me. I've never seen it at 9:30, so that's new to me. So I'm looking to sell, or we favor being bearish, shall we say? We've tapped the bullish gap. Let's delete some of these lines so it's clear. 4-hour low is intact. We held this gap. Pretty interesting. So 8:30, we're above continuation model. Looks like we are playing. So it's opening midnight price. Okay, let's see what we can find. I'm looking to take a sell. Not from there though. Or should it be from here? Potentially. I was looking at this as a down close candle, which it's not. This was my down close candle, so we missed that sell. It's fine. We'll find another one. I'm going to take a sell here. Price has just tapped a bullish gap. I think if order flow is correct, we should keep going down. Okay. So we didn't get entered. I was looking to take the retest off the volume imbalance, and we just didn't do it. We took the internal low, so I'm not interested in selling after that was done. The objective was met. Currently, we're seeing SMT to the upside, so we're going to flip the bias back to bullish here. Okay. See if we get the entry. Okay, so we are in. Let's see if it can hold. Okay, so price wants to keep going down. That's second loss that we took so far. Price wants to keep going down. I probably should have took this off the breaker here. I would have at least got a small win. It was with SMT, so the breaker was valid. I just waited for a uni entry, so that's probably my bad here. It's fine. Let's see if we can get another buy back up. Okay, so we're going to try this one more time, the buy. Let's see. So we're in. Okay, there we go. So we still got SMT. This is what I should have really waited for last time. Took the breaker. Made a mistake on this trade. But it's good to show you guys that you can still make money and make mistakes. I've been doing this for nearly 6 years this year. So we're secured 0.5. Let me reverse. That's fine. How many trades is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more positions. So far, we are still in the green. Let's see if the red folded Newsday, we shouldn't have made it break even. Let's see. There we go. So we're actually seeing it play out live. With reversals, I do make it break even still, secure half on Newsdays, but continuations I don't. I let the trade run. Maybe I should do it with reversals. I'll actually have to look into that. So right now we're displaced higher. Nothing I can take off this, unfortunately. Let's go to the PM. I like the way price is moving though for 2020. It's because Biden just got into presidency. That's probably why, for the volatility. So currently we favor being bearish. The reason I'm fast forwarding here is because I don't trade when it's this choppy. Let's go to the next day. 2 more positions. Let's try and finish this on a good note here. I think the worst we could do is be in a slight negative. It's 8:30 news. Now it's better. There we go. So we're in the macro. We've got red folder news at 8:30. Let's delete everything. Fresh perspective. Side of bullish fair value gap. The low is intact. The high is also intact. We're overlapping with a bearish FVG, so kind of confusing this bias. So in this scenario, because we haven't swept the lower high, we're just going to have to remain patient. Not going to look to engage just yet. And this looks nice to buy. Should we just take a buy off order flow? Maybe we sweat the low, we sweat the high. We can try it. Very low volume here. Don't like it, but okay. See. Another loss. Okay. We probably should have waited there. But one more position we can take. That's what we should have waited for. The high's now been swept. It's my bad. I said it and then did the opposite. No SMT. Back to the 4 hour. We've inversed this. Inverse. In more context here, we favor being bullish. We're tapping a bullish fair value gap. Okay. Macro is finished. That's the 4 hour. So we swept the 4 hour high now. Continuations kind of make sense here. It looks pretty aggressively towards the upsides. Price does want to tap this volume imbalance. I'll be taking a position. So we're in. Okay. Final trades. Volume imbalance, pushing price higher. You see that it also overlaps the order block here. So we took 10 positions. That was a bit tough. Kind of made a few mistakes there. But we still end up with 2% profit. This is in 13 days in February 2020. So I'm still glad we ended up in a net profit. Couple losses we should have avoided here, potentially netting us around 4%. That's my bad. I did try to finish this within under an hour, even though I stated would be uploading it no matter how long it takes. So I'm going to start doing some of these live on YouTube alongside some other live streams. I've just been busy, but thank you guys for watching. If you have watched until the end, let me know what videos you do want me to post, and we're going to keep posting throughout all of 2025. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back again very soon.